Level 1, the beginner. You are 19 years old. You live in a dorm room that smells like instant noodles. Your roommate is asleep. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You are wide awake. You are watching a video about a man who made $1,000 in one afternoon. He is sitting in his sports car. He is smiling. You want that. You want it more than you have ever wanted anything. You open your laptop. You download a brokerage app. You sign up with your name and social security number. You link the checking account your grandmother set up for you. You deposit $400. It is almost everything you have. Your hands are shaking slightly. You do not know why. You buy your first stock the next morning. It is a company you saw mentioned online. You buy 3 shares. You watch the price tick up and down. Green, red, green. You cannot look away. By lunch, you are up $11. You feel like a genius. By dinner, you are down 6. You feel like a fool. You sell at a loss because you cannot stand the feeling. You have learned your first lesson. The market does not care about your feelings, and you start watching videos all day instead of class. You learn words you have never heard before. Support, resistance, candlesticks, volume. You learn what a chart actually is. A chart is a picture of fear and greed. You open a practice account where the money is fake. You trade the fake money and you win. You feel ready. You add another $200 to your real account. You skip your morning classes to watch the opening bell. 9:30 in the morning, the market opens like a gunshot. Everything moves at once. You buy, you sell, you buy again. By the end of the week, you have turned $600 into $800. You tell yourself you have figured it out. You have not figured out anything. You have just been lucky. But you do not know the difference yet. Nobody does at the start. That is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Level 2, the consistent retail trader. The luck runs out in your sophomore year. You lose your entire account in a single afternoon. You bought a stock that was going to the moon. Everyone online said so. It went the other way instead. You watched $800 become $90 in 2 hours. You sat in your dorm and stared at the screen. You did not eat that night. You wanted to quit. You almost did. But something in you refused to let go. You went back to the videos. This time you watched different ones. Not the men in sports cars, the boring ones, the ones about risk management and position sizing. The men who survive are not the men who win big. They are the men who lose small. Protecting your money matters more than growing it. You opened a spreadsheet. You wrote down every single trade you made. The price you entered, the price you exited, the reason you took it, the result. You found patterns hiding in your own behavior. You sold your winners too early. You held your losers far too long. You traded the most when you were angry. The enemy was never the market. The enemy was you. You set rules for yourself and wrote them on a sticky note. You taped that note to the bottom of your monitor. Never risk more than 1% on a trade. Never trade to get even after a loss. You broke those rules constantly at first. Then you broke them less. You saved money from a part-time job at the campus library. You build the account back up slowly. $500, then $1,000, then $2,000. You stop swinging for the fences on every trade. You take small, careful, boring trades instead, but you risk only 1% of your account on each one. You win some, you lose some, but the wins are slightly bigger than the losses. Over months, the account grows painfully slowly. Your friends think you are wasting your life. Your parents think you should focus on your degree. Your father calls it gambling to your face. You do not argue with him. You just keep going. By the time you graduate, you have $11,000. It is not life-changing money, but it is proof. Proof that you can actually do this. Proof that the dream is not entirely a lie. You decide not to take the office job everyone expects. You are going to trade for a living. Your father does not speak to you for a month. Level 3, the prop firm trader. $11,000 is not enough to trade for a living. You do the math one night and it terrifies you. To make $50,000 a year, you need returns almost nobody makes. You need more capital. You do not have it. Your family does not have it. So, you find another way in. A prop firm, a firm that trades you with their own money. The catch is you have to prove yourself first. You pay them a fee of a few hundred. They give you a demo account with simulated capital. $50 million of pretend money. You have to hit a profit target without breaking their rules. Do not lose too much in a single day. Do not lose too much overall. Hit the target. If you pass, they fund you with real capital and you keep most of the profits. You take the challenge. You fail. You break a rule on the third day. You got emotional after a loss and doubled down to win it back. You blew through the daily limit. The account resets to zero. You pay the fee again. You take it again. You fail again. The third time, something inside you finally changes. You stop trying to get rich. You start trying to follow the rules. You treat it like a job, not a lottery ticket. You take your small trades. You walk away the moment you feel the anger rising. You hit the target in 6 weeks. You pass. They send you an email that morning. You are now a funded trader. You have $100,000 of capital to trade that you feel like you have finally arrived. You have not arrived. You have just been let through the first real door. You trade their money from your tiny apartment. You wake up before the open every day. You read the news. You watch the pre-market movers. You build a watch list before the bell. When the bell rings, you execute your plan. You are disciplined now. You have learned that discipline is the entire game. You make $4,000 one month and keep most of it. You make almost nothing the next month. You lose money the month after that. The income is not steady. The stress never stops. Some mornings you sit down and you cannot pull the trigger at all. You see the setup and your hand freezes on the mouse. The fear of giving back last week's profit is paralyzing. Other mornings you trade too much and give it all back anyway. You are learning that this game is fought mostly inside your own head. The charts are easy. Your own mind is the hard part, but you are doing it. You are a man who makes money from a screen in his bedroom. You are 25 years old. You meet a woman named Sarah at a friend's wedding. She asks what you do for work. You tell her you are a trader. She is impressed. You do not tell her about the months you lose. You do not tell her about the nights you cannot sleep. Level 4, the full-time professional. 2 years pass quietly. You are not rich, but you are surviving. You have multiple funded accounts now across different firms. Together, they give you nearly $500,000 in trading capital. You have learned to spread your risk across many baskets. You have learned never to depend on a single source of income. You make enough to rent your own apartment. You make enough to stop worrying about every grocery bill. Trading is no longer a dream. It is your profession. Your job has no boss, no office, and no coworkers. Your job is a desk, 3 monitors, and a chair you live in, but you spend 10 hours a day in that chair. The work is lonelier than anyone ever warned you it would be. You wake at 6. You prepare your watch list. You trade the open. You trade the midday chop where you sit on your hands. You trade the close. Then you review every single trade you made. You journal. You study. You go to bed. You do it all again the next morning. There are no real weekends off in your mind. The market is always coming back on Monday. You stop seeing your friends as much. They have normal jobs with normal hours. They do not get why you cannot take a Tuesday off. You can take any Tuesday off you want, but you never do. Every day you do not trade is a day you do not earn, but you watch other men your age post photos from vacations and weddings. You are at your desk watching a ticker bleed red. Your back hurts. Your eyes burn from the screens. You eat lunch standing up so you do not miss a move. You tell yourself, this is the price of freedom. Some days you almost believe it. You marry Sarah in the spring. It is a small wedding with a small budget. Your father comes. He still does not fully understand what you do, but he sees the apartment and the car. He sees the way his son carries himself now. He shakes your hand at the reception. He tells you that he is proud of you. It is the first time he has ever said it. You hold on to those words. Sarah moves into your apartment. She learns to be quiet during market hours. She learns to read your face after the close. On green days, you are warm and easy. On red days, you are somewhere far away. You promise her the red days will get fewer. You are not sure that is a promise you can keep. Level 5, the prop desk trader. A man finds you online and sends you a message. He runs a real proprietary trading firm in Chicago. Not a remote challenge company, an actual office with traders at real desks. He has seen your track record and your numbers. He offers you a seat on his floor. The deal is different from anything you have done before. They give you serious firm money, millions if you earn it. They take a larger cut of your profits, but they give you something you have never had. Infrastructure, faster execution than you ever dreamed of, better data than any retail trader can buy, other traders to learn from in person, a risk manager watching your back every day. You and Sarah pack up and move to Chicago. She finds a job at a marketing agency downtown. You walk in on your first day and feel like a beginner again. The desk is nothing like your quiet bedroom. 20 traders sit in a long row. Keyboards and shouting fill the air. Screens glow everywhere you look. The energy is electric and brutal at the same time. These men are sharper than you. They are faster than you. They have been doing this for years. You are humbled in your very first week. You make mistakes the veterans never make. The senior trader next to you is named Vince. He watches you lose money on a stupid trade. He does not yell at you. He just tells you to size down until you stop being an idiot. You size down. You listen. You learn more in 3 months on that desk than in 3 years in your apartment. You watch how the veterans handle a losing day. They do not panic. They do not chase. They close the laptop and go home and come back the next morning clean. You realize that calm is a skill, not a personality. It can be trained like anything else. You start training it, you start to grow. You find your edge. You become known for trading certain setups better than anyone on the floor. You catch an earnings move that makes the firm $40,000 in 20 minutes. Vince nods at you across the desk. That single nod means more to you than the money does. Your account grows. They give you more capital to manage. By your second year, you are one of the most profitable traders on the desk. You are 32 years old. Sarah tells you one evening that she is pregnant. You stare at the test on the counter for a long time. For the first time in your life, the numbers on a screen feel small. Level 6, the senior trader. Your son is born in October. You name him after your father. You hold him in the hospital, and something cracks open inside your chest. You go back to the desk 3 days later. The market does not pause for fatherhood. But something has shifted in you forever. You are no longer trading just for yourself. Every dollar means something different now. You take fewer reckless risks. You become more consistent than you have ever been. Consistency, it turns out, is what they promote. The firm makes you a senior trader. You run your own book, larger than most on the floor. You also get juniors assigned to you, young men, the age you were when you started, hungry and terrified and certain they already know everything. You see yourself in every one of them, but you become for them what Vince was for you. You teach them to size down. You teach them that the enemy is always themselves. You teach them the goal is to survive long enough to get good. You watch one of them break the same rule you broke at his age. He doubles down on a loser to win it back. He blows up half his account in an afternoon. You sit with him afterward like Vince once sat with you. You tell him it is not over. You tell him the men who survive are the men who lose small, and some of them listen. Some of them blow up and wash out. The washout rate is brutal. Most who sit at a trading desk are gone within a year. You manage your own risk and the risk of your juniors. You sit in meetings about firm capital allocation. You argue for more money for the setups you believe in. You learn that being right is not enough. You have to be right and convince the men who control the money. You are no longer just a trader. You are a manager of traders. You make more money than you ever imagined in that dorm room. You buy a house in the suburbs. Sarah decorates a nursery for your son. He learns to walk in a living room paid for by your screens but you are working more than ever before. You miss his first steps because you are at the close. Sarah films it for you on her phone. You watch the video alone in your office after the bell. You cry a little. You do not tell anyone. You promise yourself you will leave the desk earlier tomorrow. You do not. The market is open and your son is asleep when you get home. You stand over his crib in the dark and you watch him breathe. It is the only time all day your mind goes quiet. Level 7, the fund manager. After 15 years of trading, you want something of your own. You have built a real reputation on the street. You have a verified record that few people can match. You have relationships with people who have money and want returns, so you do the most terrifying thing you have ever done. You leave the firm. You start your own fund. A small hedge fund with your own name on the door. You raise capital from former colleagues and wealthy individuals. A family office that watched you for years writes the biggest check. You raise $12 million in total. It is not much in the world of funds. To you, it feels like a mountain you have to carry. Everything changes when the money belongs to other people. When you traded firm capital, a bad day hurt your bonus. Now, a bad day means calling an investor to explain why his retirement shrank. The pressure is a completely different animal. You feel it in your stomach every single morning. You hire two analysts and a junior trader. You rent a small office in the city. You become a businessman as much as a trader. Now, you spend your mornings trading and your afternoons in meetings. You raise more money from new investors. You write quarterly investor letters. You explain your strategy to people who do not understand it. They just want the number at the bottom of the page to be green. You learn that running a fund is mostly managing fear. Your investors fear when the market drops. Your employees fear when a position goes against them. Your own fear at 3 o'clock in the morning when you cannot sleep. You are the calm one now because you have to be. There is no one above you to size you down anymore. Vince is just a name in your phone you never called out. You have a few very good years. You return 18% one year and your investors are thrilled. Money flows in faster than you can deploy it. The fund grows to 40 million, then 60 million. You hire more people. You move to a bigger office downtown. You are 42 and you manage other people's life savings. Your son is 10 now. He tells his friends that his dad works with money. He does not really know what you do. You are not sure you could explain it if you tried. You promise yourself you will be home for dinner more often. You make that exact promise to yourself every year. You break it every year. The market is a jealous thing. It wants all of you and it usually wins. Level 8, the portfolio manager. Your fund survives the one thing that kills most funds. A crash. A real one. The market falls 30% in a matter of weeks. There is panic everywhere you look. Investors are calling, screaming, demanding their money back immediately. Other funds blow up all around you. Funds running for decades simply vanish overnight, but you do not vanish. You had hedged your positions carefully. You remembered the first lesson from that dorm room. Protect the money before you ever try to grow it. You lose far less than the market does. When the dust settles, new investors arrive in droves. Your fund triples in size in a single year. You are now managing hundreds of millions of dollars. You are no longer a day trader in any real sense. You think in weeks and months now, not in minutes. You build your positions over days. You move the market itself. When you buy big, the price rises just because you are buying. You have to be careful and quiet. You have to hide your true intentions from everyone. That you break your orders into pieces so other funds do not see you. The game at this level is not about reading a chart anymore. It is about reading the other people who are reading charts. You learn that at this size, your biggest enemy is your own success. Money flows in faster than you can find good places to put it. That every new investor is a new mouth expecting returns. The strategy that worked on 12 million strains under 500 million. You adapt or you die. You adapt. But the joy is gone, replaced by something heavier. You have a real team now. 20 people work under you. Analysts who research companies for weeks. Traders who execute your ideas in the market. Risk managers who tell you when you are too exposed. Compliance officers who keep you out of prison. You sit at the top of a small institution that bears your name. You are 48 years old. Your hair is going gray at the sides. Your back aches from decades spent in a chair. Your doctor warns you about your rising blood pressure. Sarah worries about you constantly. Your son is 16 now and barely speaks to you. You realize you have spent his entire childhood staring at screens. You do not know how to get those years back. You are not sure that you ever can. Level 9, the Titan. Your name means something now on Wall Street, in the papers, in the rooms where billions move. You run a fund that manages over $2 billion. You are a name that other managers watch closely. When word leaks that you are buying something, others follow you in. When you are selling, others run for the exits. You have become a force inside the market itself. You are a weather system that other traders try to predict. The boy who turned $400 into $800 is gone. In his place is a man who can move a stock with one call. The money has stopped feeling real to you. You do not think about dollars anymore. You think in basis points and risk exposure. A bad day costs more than your father earned in his entire life. You barely flinch when it happens that you have made so much money that more money changes nothing. You already have the house, the cars, and the things. What you chase now is not money at all. It is the score. It is being right when everyone else in the world is wrong. It is the proof that your mind sees what the market cannot. You wake at 4 every morning out of habit, even when there is no reason to. You read the overnight markets in Asia and Europe before sunrise. You have built a machine that prints money, and the machine needs feeding. You hire the smartest people you can find. You pay them fortunes. Some of them try to steal your strategies and leave to start their own funds. A few of them succeed. You feel something close to pride and something close to betrayal at once. You remember when you were the hungry junior nodding at a man named Vince. Now you are the old man others want to climb over. The market does not care how far you have come. It humbles you on a random Tuesday just to remind you it can. You lose $90 million in a single morning on a position you were sure of. You do not flinch in the meeting. You flinch later alone in the bathroom where no one can see that you testify before regulators sometimes. You sit in rooms with the men who run the financial system. You are invited to give talks at conferences. Young traders look at you the way you once looked at the sports car man. You tell them the truth, which is that it costs far more than they think. Most of them do not hear a word of it. They only see the fund and the name and the wealth. They do not see the divorce papers that almost came. They do not see the worst year when Sarah nearly walked out. They do not see the medication you now take just to fall asleep. They do not see the son who is in college and calls his mother, but never you. Level 10, the legend. You are 62 years old. You have been staring at screens for over 40 years. You step back from the daily fight, though you never fully leave it. You hand the trading over to younger men. You become something else entirely. A chairman, a figure, a legend whose name is taught to people just starting out. They study your old trades the way you once studied charts at 2 a.m. Your fund manages tens of billions now, and it runs largely without you. That is its own quiet kind of grief. You have everything money can buy and an emptiness where the fight used to live. The screens were never really about the money. They were about being alive on the edge of a decision. That feeling is much harder to find now. You sit in a beautiful office with a view you never look at. For 40 years, the only view that ever mattered was a chart. Your hands, which once shook over a $400 deposit, are steady now. They are also old. Sarah stayed in the end. The marriage survived, scarred, but standing because she outlasted the market. She was more patient than you ever deserved. Your son is a grown man now with a family of his own. He does not trade. He chose something quieter on purpose, and you understand why it still hurts. He brings his children to your house on the holidays. You hold your grandson, and that old crack opens again. It is the same feeling you had the day your son was born. Your father is gone. He died years ago, proud in a way he could finally say out loud. You think about him often in the quiet hours. You think about the man in the sports car from that first video. He was probably broke. He was probably selling a dream he never lived. You think of all the men you watched blow up over the decades. You wonder why you survived when so many of them did not. You do not have a clean answer. Discipline, maybe luck, probably a refusal to quit that looked like strength and felt like a disease. You wonder in the quiet hours what all of it added up to. You made fortunes. You moved markets that moved the whole world. You built something that will outlast you. But you missed the first steps, the school games, the ordinary Tuesdays. You could have taken those Tuesdays off, and you never once did. You cannot get them back now. No amount of capital buys a single one of them back. That is the trade nobody warns you about at the start. Somewhere right now, a 19-year-old sits in a dorm room at 2 a.m. He is watching a man who made $1,000 in an afternoon. His checking account has $400 in it. His hands are shaking, and he does not know why. He thinks this will finally make him rich. He thinks this will finally make him free. He has no idea what it will cost him. He has no idea who he will become. He will learn. They always do. The cycle continues.